Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's everything you need to know as you jumpstart your day. I'm Feline Verzosa. Uniteam has formally been dissolved. This is what former presidential spokesperson Harry Roque declared after the resignation of Vice President Sara Duterte as the Education Secretary of the Marcos administration. Roque, a staunch Duterte ally, said that VP Sara is now the leader of the opposition. He also said, "Let's redeem the Philippines." Meanwhile, Senate President Cheese Escudero said her resignation is inevitable. This is because her father, former President Rodrigo Duterte, and her siblings have been attacking President Marcos and the First Family. Escudero added that VP Sara's resignation became more inevitable because of her silence on multiple issues such as the West Philippine Sea. Senator Sherwin Gatchalian expressed shock over VP Sara's resignation. Gatchalian, the Senate Chair on Basic Education Committee, said he and DepEd have already started a lot of programs under VP Sara's leadership.
Almost every week nagmi-meet kami ng DepEd. Kaya marami na kaming naumpisahan para ayusin ang education system natin. At nahihinayang lang ako dun sa mga naumpisahan natin. Tuwing humingi kami ng panahon sa Department of Education, in full force sila. Nakakagulat rin ako.
Political analyst Richard Haydarian describes Sara Duterte's resignation as a slow-motion train wreck. Here's an excerpt from his interview on The Big Story.
This was a slow-motion train wreck. We saw this coming. In fact, in 2021, before even the election started, I wrote a piece about how House of Duterte and House of Marcos were about to clash because both Sara Duterte and Marcos wanted to run for the top position. And eventually, because of divisions within the House of Duterte, meaning Duterte wanting Bongo to run, Sara was not happy with the situation, Marcos came on top. So it was really a tactical alliance to begin with. So if there's at least one occasion where I completely agree with Sara in terms of her sincerity of her statement, it's when she said the unity was really for election purposes. So I think she really laid down the predicate just a few days before officially ending itong mother of all hugot kind of speech. What I found interesting is, if you rewind to 2018, wasn't it? 2017, when Leni Robredo resigned or was forced to resign, essentially driven out of the cabinet of Duterte, the father of the current vice president, ganon din yung approach na. Medyo malumanay, parang lumalabas na siya pa yung victim. And Sara Duterte did not articulate it, but I think what she was implying here, I'm trying to read what she was implying, is that dahil sa politika, naapektuhan yung kanyang abilidad to execute her job in the best way possible. And let's be honest, you look at all sorts of studies, the latest PISA rankings, on all fronts, the education sector in the Philippines is also a slow-motion train wreck. So in a way, you could say maybe this is our heroic sacrifice, or at least that will be the narrative that her side will try to drive, aside from blaming President Marcos. But President Marcos can also come out of this with complete plausible deniability and say, on my side, I was always her number one fan. I always supported them. I believe in unity. I'm grateful to her. And whatever she chooses, that's her choice. But he can easily say na hindi ako yung nagpaalis sa kanya. Siya mismo ang taos puso na nag-resign dito. So I think there's some room here for this attrition warfare to continue, but not all-out war kaagad yet.
Do you agree, as what everyone has, well, not everyone, but a lot of people have been saying, is that this is the start of her being rebranded as the face of the opposition?
Well, I mean, we know that there are clear policy differences between Sara Duterte and the family on one hand, and Marcos, and clearly one of them is the West Philippine Sea issue, right? I mean, she's quite infamous, or some would say famous, for the no-comment, essentially, position on the whole West Philippine Sea issue. So actually, from an administrative, operational standpoint, I wonder how comfortable Marcos would be discussing a very strong anti-China position when it comes to national security issues with Sara Duterte being around. So probably it made sense for her to no longer be in the cabinet.
A political analyst warned the Duterte camp that opposing the Marcos administration is going to be tough for them. UP Professor Antonio Contreras told 1PH sa Totoo Lang that the president can still maintain his unity and the idea behind it. Contreras further explained that Marcos can get people who formerly criticized him in building unity against China. With the Duterte camp being pro-China, Contreras said VP Sara's side should be wary about this.
even former former Associate Justice Antonio Carpio, pinuri na si Pangulong Marcos regarding his stance on China. Even Vice President Leni Robredo, pinuri din si President Marcos tungkol sa China. So there is this narrative about China that unites, that might be the cleavage, that might realign politics. And so what would be the implication of that to the Dutertes?
We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Pauline Verzosa. Let's now take a quick look at today's other headlines. Suspended Bamban Mayor Alice Guo denies that she is Guo Huaping, as alleged by Senator Sherwin Gatchalian. The Philippine Star quoted his lawyer, or her lawyer rather, attorney Stephen David, as saying that his client does not know that person. He adds that counter charges will be filed against those who published the document for violation of the Data Privacy Act. And Business World reports that the IT and business process management industry is on track to achieve its growth target. One group says the industry anticipates around 6.5 to 7.5% growth in headcount and revenue by the end of 2024. If this is achieved, the industry will end the year with 1.82 million in headcount and around $38 billion in revenues. The Philippines ranks at the bottom of a new PISA test on creative thinking. 15-year-old students in the Philippines scored 14 points on average, placing the country in the bottom 4 among 64 countries. Other countries in the bottom are Albania, Uzbekistan, and Morocco. On the other hand, nations that landed in the top 5 are Singapore, Korea, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. This is the first time that PISA, or the Program for International Student Assessment, tested students' creativity. Well, anything can really happen in the Volleyball Nations League. After losing all of its preliminary matches, Iran pulled an upset against the USA in their match at the Mall of Asia Arena. Despite ranking dead last in the competition, Iran sent the U.S. to the ground after a nail-biting 5 sets. This is Iran's first victory in the Games. The day 2 of the tournament also saw Germany dominating reigning Olympic gold medalist France in 4 sets. Aside from watching the foreign teams battle it all out, the Alas Pilipinas men's and women's teams also held a meet and greet event at the VNL. Our national team players thank their fans for showing support during their games. One of our fellow Filipinos has created eco-friendly hollow blocks. They are lighter than your typical ones, but rest assured, they are rock solid. Mobile Journal Marymon Reyes has the story.
Mahalagang dekalidad ang hollow blocks sa pagpapatayo ng tirahan o gusali. Pero ang pag-produce nito ay may naidudulot na negative impact kay inang kalikasan. Kaya naman ang isang Pinay, gumawa ng eco-friendly na bersyon nito. May glossy o smooth finish, iba-ibang kulay, hugis at laki, at tibay na tumatagal. Iyan daw ang eco-friendly na Polite hollow blocks. Imbensyon ito ni Dr. Ria Liza Centeno Canlas na isang civil engineer mula sa Kalumpit, Bulacan. Taong 2008 nang sinimulan niya raw ang pag-conceptualize rito, hanggang sa taong 2018 ay nakuha niya na ang tamang timpla. Hindi raw ito gawa sa pangkaraniwang sand pebbles at semento, kundi sa mga organic materials mula sa halaman at iba pang natural resources. 46% less din daw ang carbon emission ng paggawa nito at nasa 40% less ang generated pollution dahil hindi sila gumagamit ng excessive heat.
I want to come up with a modified product that will be replacing concrete. I wanted to make an impact. I am wanting to save the environment. Lalo, the cement production contributes to the carbon dioxide emission of about 8% of the total world contribution. No? So I have to shy away from the use of cement.
Mula sa plant boxes, doors, lavatories at furnitures, pwedeng i-mold at buuin. 3 to 7 days lang din ang kailangan, ready na agad ang blocks na inilagay sa construction. Kapag nailunsad na commercially, mas mura raw ito kumpara sa ordinary hollow blocks. Say pa ni engineer, di hamak na mas magaan pa raw ito. Okay. Mas magaan nga po siya compared sa usual hollow blocks. Para siyang puzzle pieces.
Correct.
Okay. Very convenient po siya, especially yung mga may gustong mag-DIY sa mga bahay nila, sa garden nila. Okay, so smooth siya. So hindi nyo na nga kailangang isipin minsan yung finishing. Noong 2019, ang Polite Hollow Blocks ang kauna-unahang recipient ng Good Design Award Philippines. Sa ngayon, patuloy pa ang pag-aaral kung mayroon pa itong magandang kontribusyon tulad ng insulation sa mga establishmento.
Sana dumating na talaga yung time na halos lahat tayo ay mag-a-adapt na ng environment friendly. Shy away from those methodologies na talagang makakasira sa environment kasi nararamdaman na natin yung global warming.
Hindi raw dapat kinakalimutan ang environmental impact ng lahat ng ginagawa natin. Kaya kahit pa sa mga maliliit na bagay tulad ng hollow blocks, dapat daw ay maging sustainable na ang options natin. Mobile Journal Marymon Reyes po, hatid ang muka ng balita.
And those are the top stories of the hour. I'm Colleen Verzosa. We are One News.